As people, we often use more than words to communicate. We use voice inflections to make a point, we wave our hands around during conversations, and we even use our eyes to get people to look where we need them to look. When stepping into your role as an RBT, it's important that you become really aware of your behavior, especially during teaching trials, because your learners can become really sensitive to it. In this video, we're going to outline some common behaviors that RBTs can sometimes do that can provide inadvertent cues to your learners. By learning about inadvertent cues and how to avoid them, you can be more confident that your future learners' correct responses are a result of your fantastic teaching rather than any accidental cues that you provide through your behavior. I tried to train my cat how to respond to the instruction, sit down. I was super excited that he was responding to me correctly when I would say it until I learned about inadvertent cues. Sometimes a voice lilt or voice modulation could serve as a cue, and it could be what the learner attends to rather than the instruction itself. Let's watch my cat for an example. Watch as the amazing cat obeys the command, sit down. Sit down. Are we sure that it is the verbal instruction that controls the cat's response? Let's see. Be bow. So here, given the fact that my cat responded to both sit down and be bow, I'm less confident that the instruction sit down is what he was really responding to, and rather it was probably my tone of voice instead. As an RBT, we have to be just as sensitive to the way we present instructions so that we're confident that our learners are attending to the salient part of the instructions rather than something else. To instill confidence that your future learners are attending to the instruction rather than a lilt in your voice, present instructions in a clear and neutral tone and avoid pairing certain tone of voice with a certain instruction. Now, let's move on to other examples. Eye gaze can also serve as a cue if you accidentally look at the item in your instruction.
Give me grapes. Good job.
Did you see how the RBT looked directly at the grapes? This could serve as a cue to the learner, resulting in his correct selection. But with the cue during the trial, we are unsure whether he attended to the instruction or if he attended to the eyes of the RBT.
Give me grapes. Awesome, good job.
Some tips for eye gaze. Keep your eyes on the learner when stating an instruction, and avoid looking at the item you're speaking about during that trial. Next, we'll discuss physical movements as a cue. In this next clip, notice how the RBT keeps her hands close to the items that are not the target item in case she has to block the learner from touching them.
Give me ball. Good job.
Again, this is a problem because the learner could be attending to the RBT's behavior and selecting the correct item purely based on her physical cue.
Give me ball. Awesome.
To avoid this type of cue, keep all items midway between you and the learner, keep your hands in a neutral position, and avoid unnecessary blocking. Lastly, we'll discuss item placement as a cue. Sometimes without knowing it, you may be arranging items in a way that provides a cue to the learner. In the next clip, the RBT is unintentionally placing down the target item first before asking for it.
Oh no!
Touch orange. Awesome. Touch grapes. Nice. Touch strawberry. Good job.
To avoid providing this cue, the RBT can troubleshoot by arranging the items out of the learner's sight and present them all at once.
Yes. Yes.
Touch base. Awesome. Touch orange. Great job. Touch strawberry. Nice.
Tips for item placement include simply being aware of the order in which you're asking instructions and arranging the items out of the learner's sight to avoid showing any predictable patterns.